Welcome everyone to Pizza Chat. My name is Enzo, and these guys are Pizza Sutra, Bill, and Sergio. Welcome.
Hey.
Yeah. Hold on. I have to mute that. Okay. So today we are talking about pizza dough. So have you guys made pizza dough?
We have made it once.
Okay.
Technically twice.
Well, yeah, but there was the same recipe. We just tried it twice. But dough is no joke. So hopefully in this chat you can kind of shine some light on it.
Maybe.
I mean.
So I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there that I am new to pizza making. I've only been doing it for about a year. I know that seems like a long time, but it really isn't. So whatever I say, whatever comes out of my mouth during this time, I don't want you to hold me to it, because I could be totally BSing or have inaccurate information. But this is what I know, so it could be a little bit of both. So I'll let you decide what's fact and what,
right? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Pizza's like a journey, so we're kind of taking this journey together with doughs and pizzas and everything. There's so many different kinds.
Yeah,
you know that very well.
Yeah. And pizza, I mean, I think people get intimidated by making pizza in general, because I don't know why. Like I honestly never was into making pizza before this, so I get it. I don't know. It's super. It's easy. It's 4 ingredients. And
I mean,
I think what it is the prep time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because most recipes will ask you to let it sit for a long time, and I think when it comes to pizza, everybody just assumes that it should be like this immediate gratification, because we are so used to just being like 30 minutes, just bring it to my house.
Right.
So that's part of it. I think even me personally, when we were going to make a pizza and stuff, I saw it as 4 ingredients, but you got to like sit there and wait. So it's really like prepping it for the day ahead. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I feel like that makes it a special meal, like one of those meals where you're like, spend the whole day waiting for it, and you're like, yeah, it's going to taste delicious. I don't know.
And everything I've read about dough is it's something that you get better at too. Like the more you make it, the more you do it, and the more familiar you are with it, the easier it's going to get. That's with everything.
Yeah, and you can play with it too. There's so many different types of flours. There's so many different like ratios you can play with, and depending on how you like your crust, and so it's really kind of like it's a playground. I feel like it's a doughy playground.
It really is.
So today I thought we would kind of get a little nerdy and talk about some like technical aspects of dough in particular. And so I thought we would start with gluten, because who doesn't love gluten, right?
Yeah, and they're high gluten. Like to get a good crust, right? For a traditional crust, you need a lot of gluten, right?
It depends. It depends on the type of pizza that you want.
Yeah. But for like our traditional,
like a New York style kind of
pizza, or what is it, Sicilian? I think.
Right.
Yeah, they are heavy gluten.
Yeah.
Which, can suck for some people who are sensitive to gluten. But man,
right. I've made quite a few gluten-free pizza doughs, and they're just not great. I don't know if you guys have had gluten-free pizzas.
Not like we've made a gluten-free pizza.
Even like tasted.
Yeah, we've had some frozen ones.
Yeah.
We had a gluten-free pizza. And we had the tapioca one. The tapioca one I really enjoyed.
Right.
But it's not the same.
No.
As much as I was like, wow, surprised and pleasantly so. I would eat it again, but I just, it's.
Yeah, I think, I mean, gluten is like, it's glue basically.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so desirable. It's so like tasty because it's like, so gluten is basically, it's like protein in the flour, and it's activated by water. And the more gluten you have in your flour, the more structure you're gonna have. So it's gonna be more like dense and chewy and delicious, in my opinion. So
would we need? So for example, if we were looking for a lot of air bubbles in our crust and like a thin crust with those nice chewy air bubbles, I don't know. I'm a fan of the air bubbles. You know, when you get a nice air bubble that has this nice like char on the top, you bite into it and you just have that yeasty flavor to it. Do we get more gluten or less gluten to achieve that kind of crust?
I would think you'd need more gluten. We have a question from Original ELQ. Welcome.
Hey.
Does the size of the intended pizza make a difference in the makeup of your dough, or can you just make plenty and just use what you need? So you should probably make more than you need, because it's a lot easier to make a lot of dough at once, as opposed to just making like one dough ball or one pizza at a time. So you can make a whole batch and then keep the dough in the fridge, or you can even freeze it. So I would suggest.
Yeah, I'm right with you. If you like are making a pizza for a night or whatever, you're gonna have a lot of other ingredients too. Like you're gonna have a lot left over. You could probably make a whole bunch of pizzas with those.
Right. Yeah, and the size. I mean, you can make them any size you want, and just depending on most recipes, you can get like one or probably like two, 14, 16-inch pizzas. So you can divide that into two and get two pizzas, or you can divide into four and get like just like personal size pizzas. So it's really up to you. But I would definitely suggest making it once and not having to worry about it. So thanks for the question, Original ELQ. Gluten. So I thought we would talk about flour next, because flour is obviously a big part of it. So we have three main flours that I've worked with: all-purpose, bread, and 00. All-purpose is probably the most common type of flour. That has the it's like the middle ground flour, I guess you would call it. It's like the all-purpose. So if you don't have, a special flour, you can use all-purpose for your pizza dough. It'll work out just fine. It has about 10 to 12% protein content. And yeah, you can find all-purpose flour anywhere, any grocery store, wherever. And then you have bread flour, which is more for bread, obviously. It's got a higher gluten content. It's about 12 to 15%. And you would use that. I like to use bread flour a lot for my pizzas. That's what I primarily use. Just because I like that like, meaty dough. It produces a crispy outside and like a chewy inside. So I kind of like that about bread flour. And then the third one that I've used is 00, which is the softest flour of those three. It's got 7 to 9% protein. And you typically use this type of flour for Neapolitan pizza, because it's softer. So it's just a different texture basically, and it's meant for like wood-fired ovens and
really high temperatures and stuff like that.
Right, and it's the 00 refers to the grind of the flour, so it's like super fine. Also, it's also referred to as a cake flour.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a cake flour too.
No shit.
Yeah. It's because it's so soft. See, the more you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, and then so like I was saying before, you can kind of like play with the flours. Sometimes I'll blend them. I'll make like different mixes. So I'll use like half bread, half flour, or half all-purpose, 2/3 bread, 1/3 all-purpose, and then you kind of get like different results, and you kind of just play around, and it's fun. I think it's fun. I don't know. Some people are like,
yeah. If you
please.
have the time, I think go for it. Try, try different pies and stuff. Like, you can't go wrong. Maybe stretch it out a little thinner. Stretch it out thin, or maybe don't stretch it out thin and see what happens. Like you could end up making a weird pizza bowl if you play your cards right.
There's
for sure.
Well, when we tried, we used the 00, and we were using a pizza stone, and my oven was up to like 550 or whatever.
Yeah, 550.
So we had a nice little chew and the crispy crust at the bottom, which is what we were aiming for, more of the Neapolitan thing. But there are so many different recipes that like, if you are looking for that chewier, like meaty crust that you were talking about, it's something that I'd like to try eventually. They're all different ratios, and just I like the experimentation of finding what works for us.
Yeah.
Like, are you friends with UT Pizza Life on Instagram by chance?
Yes.
He's been doing this series of like Detroit-styled pizzas that I've seen pictures of, and man, those things look amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of crust or dough he's using, but I want to eat every single one of those pizzas.
Yeah, Detroit style pizza is very hot right now in the pizza world. So yeah, you're gonna see Detroit style a lot, or in a lot of places.
Delicious.
It's that chunky. We have here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we have Rocky Rococos, and that's essentially like Detroit style. But we've had that like our entire lives.
Well, Jets, I think.
Jets was in Minnesota or Michigan.
Yeah, I think that's the best.
So we kind of always liked that thicker, meatier crust.
Yeah.
Until recently, it's been going all over the place.
So with a square pizza, what do you guys like? Like, what piece do you go for?
Corner.
In my youth, I definitely went for the center, but as I got older, I'm like, dude, I want a handle for it.
I would go for the.
I think a pizza's at the door.
There's no way the pizza's at the door.
Yeah, I think we ordered a pizza. I think it's at the door. I heard it.
Go get it. Get it.
Baby.
Oh shit, that was quick.
Yeah, that's
really
funny that you like the centerpiece. I never liked the centerpiece. It's just I think it was a thing where I didn't like. It was just too messy to eat.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I didn't. Now I don't care that much, but I care more because we have facial hair and stuff now, and you want to get the sauce all up in here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thick crust pizza is definitely one of my faves. But
I can't say I have a favorite of any of them. I can't say that I have one single favorite. I guess it kind of depends what kind of mood I'm in for pizza. It's like, because once in a while I could be like, dude, I want a Detroit.
Right.
Or sometimes I'm like, I want a New York. I want a big slice. Or sometimes I could just be like, I want a classic pie.
Sorry about that.
It's all super dependent.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not partial, honestly. They're all party, and I love all of them.
Yeah.
We're kind of.
It's all about the love.
Yep.
Pizza love. If you guys want to like eat, that's fine. I don't care.
Oh, it's super hot. I'm just letting it cool.
I'm just gonna be yapping. It's fine.
I want to listen to every word you have to say.
Every word.
Every word.
Every single word. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was yeast. And I actually have a video on my channel about yeast. But if you don't want to watch that, you should watch it. But for now, so so yeast is like what makes the dough rise, and it kind of gives life to the dough. So it's very important that you have yeast in your dough. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with I don't know,
flatbread pizza.
Flatbread or something. I don't even know. I've never tried making dough without yeast, so I don't know what the actual outcome would be, but I'm sure it'd be very, very flat.
I think that's not a bad idea, dude.
I mean,
well,
also, I mean, it also gives it flavor too.
Yeah, the flavor is what's really important.
Yeah. Maybe you substitute that for something else, though. I mean, for the flavor, if you want a flat bread pizza, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what you would substitute.
Yeast. How to get that flavor? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's very distinct, and the longer you let it sit, the more fermented it gets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's maybe like beer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Ooh.
But it has. I mean, beer has yeast in it, right?
Yes. That's what gives it the smell and flavor.
Mm-hmm. Right. It ferments it.
Mm-hmm.
We have another question. Maybe. So originally, another question from original ELQ. He says, so how's thin crust made? Does that include yeast? Yes. All pizza has yeast in it. Thin crust is just literally just thin dough. It's just stretched really thin. And yeah, it's literally just stretched thin. So, and then with like thicker pizzas, it's just, you just don't stretch it out as much.
Yeah, and they use different flour depending on the type of crust. But they all have yeast. I think the type of flour comes more into play of the types of crust.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, look at the crust too is one thing you can look at. Not necessarily the bottom crust, but the end crust, because like a Neapolitan, that's going to puff up on the back but stay thin on the front.
Right.
Which, I mean, it just depends what you want. You know?
So I learned something. Kevin, Julie, and Janelle say hi, by the way.
Yeah.
I like Kevin. Kevin's my favorite.
He's awesome. So the crust part of the pizza. So the technical name of that is the cornicione. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's an Italian. It's Italian for whatever that is.
Cornicione. Oh man.
So.
Oh, it's gonna get. Oh man, we're gonna be fancy now. I'm gonna use my pinky and eat.
Yeah. maybe both. Maybe both.
Yeah. Whoa.
So yeah. Anyway. Yeast. Okay. So I have four different types of yeast that I want to talk about. The first is the instant quick rise, and I actually have some, but I don't feel like getting it. But it's the packets that you see in the store. They're like come three to a pack. You rip them apart, and whatever. So instant quick rise. You don't need to hydrate them. So you can actually put them into the flour mixture right away, as opposed to active dry yeast, which is something. The yeast needs to be activated with water, and it has to be a certain temperature. It has to be between 110 and 115 degrees.
Okay.
Around there, because if the water is too hot, you're going to kill the yeast. You don't want to kill the yeast. And if it's too cold, it's not going to bloom, as they say. So those are the two like main types of yeast I think that people use. There's also fresh yeast, which I've actually never made a pizza with fresh yeast, but have you guys ever seen fresh yeast?
No, I was just gonna ask, like, where do
Yeah.
you get fresh yeast?
So fresh yeast is when I worked with my dad back a long time ago. I remember in the pizzeria he would get these like huge blocks of yeast. It's basically like it's got the consistency of Play-Doh, and it's like this like beige tan color, and it's just like fresh yeast. So it's just a not concentrated yeast. So you have to use more of it.
Okay.
The dried stuff is more concentrated. It's just like herbs, like when you use fresh herbs versus dry herbs,
Mm-hmm.
2-to-1 ratio. It's the same thing with yeast. But you can find fresh yeast in grocery stores. It's usually with like if you go like near like the eggs and like cheese,
Okay.
like cream cheese. It's usually like and the ones that I've seen are these like small little blocks. Kind of pricey, but but people don't really use fresh yeast a lot. It's also called cake yeast, and it's kind of hard to find. And it's the other thing about it is that it's perishable. So if you don't use it within a certain amount of time, it's going to go bad. So I think that's why most people use dry yeast.
Yeah, the convenience. Yeah.
And then the last thing is wild yeast or natural yeast. So this is something like with like a starter. I don't know if you guys know anything about starters or so it's like you mix flour and water together and then it creates yeast basically because there's like yeast in the air, and it's this whole process where you like leave it out and it ferments and then you have to like feed it. You have to like discard some of it, add more flour.
So you feed it pizza, right? If you're gonna
right, like slices. And then it's like, thank you. It talks back to you. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then it blooms.
Right. It turns into a person.
I think that's going to be the best yeast.
But I've wanted to kind of play around with starters. There's a ton of different ways to do it, but yeah, the flour and water method is probably the most basic and most common starter. But yeah, that's yeast.
What do you prefer to use the most? What's the most convenient?
The active dry, the one that you have to activate with water.
Okay.
I just like knowing that I don't know. I like seeing it kind of bubble and bloom and kind of turn alive. You can also add sugar to it because yeast loves sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're feeding the yeast basically.
So have you ever had tried the pizzas made with a different yeast back to back? Like, yeah. See, that's something I was thinking about too. We were talking about the flavor of the yeast. Maybe we should do something like try one and then do the other, or you do it, or somebody do it. You know, to see if. I mean, I know it's going to be a slight flavor difference, but flavor's flavor.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that. Kevin says yeast scares them a bit. There's nothing to be scared about, Kevin. Okay. Yeast is your friend.
It's beautiful when it blooms.
Yeast is good. Yeast is good when with like food. It's not good in other scenarios. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
Anyway. And then I was just gonna kind of go over like my basic recipe, I guess, of what I do when I make flour or when I make pizza dough. It's based off of a Lydia Bastianich recipe. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's like this like old grandma type. She has like a ton of cookbooks. She's like on PBS, and
Okay.
she's like an authentic Italian grandmother. But I've been using her recipe for a while.
Okay. She probably knows how to do it then. I think that's why
Yeah.
you eat that way.
Yeah.
Probably knows the easiest, fastest way, you know?
Yeah. And it's basically flour. It's flour, water, yeast, and salt, and that's it. And yeah, the basic process of making dough is you get the yeast activated. This is what I do. I activate the yeast for about 10 minutes, and then I add the flour and the water, or flour and the salt to the yeast mixture, and then I use the KitchenAid, the mixer.
Yep.
You know,
I definitely when we attempted to make our dough, we didn't have a mixer. That's definitely something that I would like to get.
Yeah.
Because it has a dough paddle on it. And
I feel like I'm cheating. I feel like I'm cheating kind of when I don't use my hands, or just not. I don't know. There's something about like making dough like with your hands and like kneading it. I think I'm just like lazy, and I don't like sweating into my dough.
you can't be doing that because it'll change your ratios and everything.
I mean, I could take the salt out, I guess, and just use like sweat.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean,
when would you use sugar?
Sugar,
and have you, or how often?
I would use it with the yeast mixture. So you would add it with the water and the yeast. So the whole purpose of the sugar is so that the yeast has something to eat or feed on. So
does that make it bloom faster?
I think it makes the yeast happier. So
you like a happy yeast.
Yeah.
You know.
And then also you can add olive oil too to your dough. Sure. It does something, I don't know, but
I just like to think that the olive oil mellows it out and makes it so it doesn't stick to your hands.
I think the olive oil actually, like when you actually mix it in with the dough, I think it gives it like it makes it softer somehow, I guess.
Okay.
Hey Kent, Daddy Dutch Barbecue is in the house. How's it going? But yeah, so after we mix the dough for the first time, we let it come together, and then I usually cover it with some like saran wrap. You can use like a damp towel or whatever. And you let it sit for like an hour or two or whatever. You basically want it to like double in size. So after that happens, then you like kind of punch it down, and then I just form them into balls. And then I have this tray that I found at Target. So it's basically like a cookie tray, but it has a plastic top to it.
Okay.
So I put the balls in there and I put the top on. That way I don't have to worry about. You can do that, or you can cover it with saran wrap, the whole tray. But
yeah,
it's a lot easier to have like a hard plastic something covering the dough. And then I just stick it in the fridge and let it sit there overnight. So
that's the way you're supposed to do it. Hey, Daddy Dutch BBQ, how you doing, man? We're good.
Yeah, and then you have pizza, and then you're ready to rock and roll. And then before you're ready to make your pizza, take it out of the fridge, let it sit for like an hour, let it get nice and warm and soft, and then you stretch it out, and then you do your thing.
Yeah, that's honestly, the first portion of making the pizza is, I think, the most magic, because this is how this is the foundation of your pie. This is
right.
Foundation of your love. This is your love child that you've made.
It's also the most work.
Yeah, it is.
It's, I mean, it really is, and it's kind of, because we've done it twice now. So pretty much every recipe we found, you make essentially 4 servings, and we screwed up a lot. So it came down to we made it twice.
Yep. I kept
Um,
putting holes in it.
yeah. How much is working it too much? You know, the actual dough before
When
you.
I would not, like when you're first mixing the dough, I would not go more than like 10 minutes. You don't really need to. You just want to get it to a point where it's like smooth-ish.
Okay.
All
right.
But yeah, you don't need.
Yeah, there is a point of no return with some dough that I don't think a lot of recipes will tell you, which is like if you mess with it too much, it'll either become too elasticy or not elasticy enough, and then you're stuck with like a pie that's about that big.
Yeah. One of the worst things is not letting your dough rest before you make it, before you make your pizza, because you're never going to get that thing stretched out. It's just never going to work. Just because it's like the gluten is like very like tense, and it just needs time to kind of like chill out and relax. But I've definitely tried to make pizza with cold dough, and it just doesn't not work. I would not recommend it.
I mean, you could try it. I mean,
you can try it. You're not going to get.
Yeah, it's not going to be that fun.
I also never use a rolling pin on my dough.
Okay.
I just feel like, and I don't know if this is just like a psychological thing, but I feel like I'm like rolling out all of the like texture and like bubbles and like all the, you're not going to get the outer rim either. So I try to avoid using a rolling pin. I know people use rolling pins with pizza, and that's fine, but I personally don't like using them.
Do you spin it? Is that how you do it?
I do. I have a yeah. I do this dance with the dough.
Yeah.
I don't know what the technical term is for that, but
well, I like the dance. I mean, we have blooming and dancing. I'm really enjoying all these
dancing,
names.
stretching. You have to. Yeah. It's like a combo move. Like you're like stretching, and then I also do the table move where you have it on the table, and then you like have your hand positioned a certain way where you're like stretching it out while you're doing this.
Spinning it, you're stretching it as you spin it.
Yeah, I also do the method where I just like hang it.
Yeah,
like
hanging out to dry.
Yeah,
maybe there's a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's a ton of ways to stretch it. There's no like right or wrong way.
Yeah. But, just make sure when you try to spin it, because I know whoever's gonna go and try and make dough, just make sure you don't throw it up high enough to where it sticks to the ceiling.
Right.
Okay? That's a real thing.
I've never done that. I've never like spun my pizza like in the air.
Okay.
Because I'm scared of that scenario, because that would happen to me.
Well, like original ELQ, like this is why we have extras, so you can like spin it.
Right.
Don't hit the fan or things like that.
Or land in the cat food.
Or land in the cat food.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No.
or you do. I don't know. That's
I mean,
your life. You do what you want.
That's right. Right.
So here was a weird thing, and maybe you can shed some light on it. That in a lot of the recipes that we found, people would put a coat of Parmesan on the crust before they put the sauce on. Do you feel like that makes a significant difference? Just because it's part of the crust, and I don't know if that like keeps. We did that on ours, and I feel like that kept a good separation from the sauce, kind of over like penetrating the crust.
So it was like a thick layer of parm?
No, but it was enough. Like here's the dough, quickly sprinkle the parm on there, and then some sauce.
I mean, I'm sure it created some kind of barrier. against the dough.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was yeah, I don't know. I think it's, you do you.
That was just really common. I don't know.
So
No, I've never done that. I mean, I've made pizzas that do not have traditional red sauce where I would put like something else down first. But I've never done that with sauce before. Like put a layer of something else down and then put the sauce on. Not that I can remember anyway.
now, what about adding other seasonings to the dough? Like maybe, I don't know, you want some oregano in there or something. Maybe you want pieces of garlic in your dough. Or have you ever experimented with that?
I have not, but I will be this weekend.
Ooh, nice. What do you? Can we get a sneak?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't want to ruin it. I'm making.
No worries.
I'm making a seasonal pizza. I will just leave it at that.
Oh.
So, but I have not experimented with flavoring. Did I?
Well, you're not putting candy corn in the dough, right?
No candy corn in the dough.
That's the next holiday, Halloween, right?
Yes. No. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, now that you mentioned it, I maybe I will.
No!
How about a stuffed candy corn pizza?
Oh man, what is this?
Crust with candy corn?
Nope.
Oh.
No dice.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't done it because I don't know. I feel like if I add stuff to the dough, that's gonna like change the consistency of it or somehow.
Oh yeah, that's the first thought I had when I, thought to ask that question.
Yeah, I think it depends. It probably depends on what you're adding. If it's like something that adds like moisture, that will definitely affect the dough. Or if it's like something that's super absorbent, it might dry the dough out. I don't know. I don't know.
In terms of like not altering, but like, do you put like olive oil on the handle, the rim and stuff?
And we know what it's called now.
The
Cornichon.
Cornichon? I don't know.
Cornichon.
Yeah, the
Cornichon.
No, I don't add anything to my dough.
Because that is one thing we did realize when we made the first one. We didn't put the olive oil on it or something, or we did, and then the second time we didn't, and like it did give it a crispier crust that was like richer, like more brown, and then just that bite was completely different.
Right. I loved it. It was great.
I have added diastic malt powder to my dough.
What does that do? Wow.
Diastic.
It's called diastic malt powder. I don't know if you can find it in the store. You might be able to find it like in a specialty store, but I had to order mine from Amazon.
It's like some black market stuff.
No, the reason I used it was because of this.
Yes.
Okay.
Pizza Bible. It's Tony Gemignani. If you don't know who Tony Gemignani is, he's like very well known in the pizza community. He's an 11-time world pizza champ. So he knows his stuff. He's got restaurants and he's won a bunch of competitions and all that fun stuff. But one of the things in here mentions that diastic malt, and what it does is it helps with browning. So you can kind of experiment with that also. You can add honey to your dough as well. I think that also.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be,
Yeah.
I'd be really curious.
I just got some honey in that jar right there.
There you go.
You can't see it. Wait, yeah, you can. In that jar.
That jar.
On the counter by those eggs that haven't been put away.
Right,
Yeah.
that jar.
Brand new honey.
Yeah.
I literally just got the other day. I could put it in our pizza.
Mm.
I'm ready.
Have you had Mike's hot honey?
I've done.
Mm-mm.
You should
Sweet
try it.
and spicy.
This is actually like honey from a customer that comes into my shop and is just like, here you guys go. No one ever questions it.
Is it like real honey? Like
Yeah, he's like a beekeeper of some sort. And just here's some honey from my bees.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude.
Hey, Rick. Rick's Barbecue and Specialties is here. Welcome. We're just talking about pizza dough.
Hey, Rick.
Hey.
If you have any,
Hello, San Antonio. Right on.
if you have any questions about pizza dough or pizza in general, just shout them out. We'll answer them. What else?
Mike's hot honey is great, says Janelle.
So Janelle,
It
she's
is.
holding out on us.
Yeah, I had a few like sample packs, and I've gone through them, so I actually need to order like a real bottle. So, but yeah.
Yes.
Computer's jumping at us.
What's that?
But our computer's jumping at us. Like, what is this? What are you doing? Get out
What's
of
going
here.
on here?
We're busy. Talking about pizza stuff. Get out of here.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's pizza dough in a nutshell. Like I said, it's really easy to make. You can find recipes everywhere. I think I'm gonna try. So I was using the Pizza Camp recipe for pizza.
Okay.
I would recommend checking Pizza Camp out. He's got a bunch of good pizza recipes in here, but I think I'm gonna try his again. I feel like I've been using the one I've been using for a while, and I need to like just switch it up.
Yeah. Okay.
So Rick asked about good barbecue pizza. So I did try barbecuing a pizza.
Okay.
It was somewhat of a success, somewhat of a failure. So, and I meant to do another one this past weekend, but I just didn't get around to it. I love barbecue flavored pizza, or like like a chicken barbecue pizza is pretty tasty. But I think barbecuing a pizza is a skill for sure that I do not have just yet.
Anyway.
Not yet.
Yeah. I have to figure out. It's a lot of it's like timing. It's like, because when I did it, and there's a video that
I watched that. You made two of them.
Yeah.
And the first one maybe burnt quicker on the bottom, and that was like the test, and you made a second one.
Yeah.
Oh, and you put it right on the rack, right?
Right.
So go ahead. I'll let you go.
I was gonna say it was really cool though, like putting the dough onto the rack, because it got like super bubbly. It was almost like it was really bizarre, but it made it super bubbly. And then I flipped it over, and then, or no, the top got bubbly, and then I flipped it over, so the top was like kind of flat again, and then I put the toppings on that. But yeah, it was just like kind of a mess, and it was like hot out, and I was like sweating, gross, and I was just like, the second one, I was like, okay, this is fine.
I want to be done.
Yeah.
I just want to eat it.
But yeah, I thought about not putting it directly on the grates. But yeah, I would love to. Hey Rick, if you have like a special pizza recipe or a technique for barbecuing pizza, I would love to know. Yeah, so because it's delicious. Barbecue pizza is delicious. It's just a matter of making it.
So, and then honestly, I'd say we did a grilling episode, and there's an episode, our 4th of July episode, actually, where we did a frozen pizza on the grill.
Yeah.
We used a pizza stone with cornmeal on it. So maybe you could try the same method. You don't have to worry as much because I think a big part of that is the grill itself.
Right.
Like if you just let that pizza stone sit in there a little longer to catch up to the heat that it's supposed to, because that's what we did.
Yeah, I saw somewhere where somebody was just grilling it right on the rack.
Yeah, those people are. I don't know. That's all the skill.
I want to try it. I definitely want to try it.
I'll let you my roommate's grill because
it was just. I think it was just too hot. I think that's what it was. I think it was just too hot, and yeah. So I think I just needed. I mean, we have a charcoal grill, so it's very like old school and very like I can't control the temperature really, or I don't know how to. Because I'm not a grill person at all, but yeah, it just needs to be a lower temperature, and I think it would have been fine. And if I flipped it earlier, I think it would have been better. So I don't know. Maybe this weekend. Who knows?
Yeah, you only got so many days left of summer.
It's true. It's true.
As for actual barbecue pizzas, I don't know. Oh, did he bailed? There used to be a place here in San Antonio, Killer Barbecue Brisket Pizza. They closed and haven't been able to find one since.
Oh wow, that sounds really good.
Yeah, that does sound amazing. We have a couple different options, but we're in the Midwest, so if you're ever in like the Midwest area, pretty much
bring us the brisket.
Yeah, bring us the brisket.
You barbecued, and
we'll put that on.
Yeah, we'll make the pie. And
we had we just recently had. We didn't do a review of it yet, but we did a Outsiders Pizza Company. I don't know if you guys have them in San Antonio or whatever, but they just came out with a Quad Cities style one that's like a jalapeno and bacon that has like smoked applewood bacon with jalapenos and like barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Here's a common thing, and you guys might dig the crust. It's not my style. It's like a malted crust, and they were the same company that did the Milwaukee style pizza as well. That I didn't dig the crust on. I don't know. They're really banking on that malted crust, but the toppings and everything were like incredible because I loved the cheese and the barbecue sauce and the bacon. Just tasted amazing. If that's kind of what you're into and what you dig. I don't know if you can find it.
I don't know that I've had a malted crust before.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. The toppings on that pie definitely saved it. Like, I liked that pie a lot. It was really good.
Yeah. So both of those pizzas that we've had have been toppings wise were amazing, but both he and I were just kind of like,
yeah, the crust is weird.
Crust is weird, man. But a friend of our show, he also had it and loved the crust. It's a different flavor, different texture that he just thinks it's just something really unique. So again, we're talking about crusts and dough. It's malted. Again, it was something.
Yeah, I don't know where to begin to start making malted crusts, but.
I think I would assume you just add malt powder or something to it.
Like the ice cream malts, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Here we go.
And it is a very distinct flavor.
Yeah, it is.
So
you're in or you're not.
So Rick is moving to Baja California, open a barbecue restaurant trailer, thinking about doing barbecue pizza there. Definitely do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, everybody loves pizza and like everybody loves the barbecue stuff. Do it. I mean, if it doesn't sell, well, sell regular pizza then.
I don't know, man. And it's not like you don't have the resources already. Also, if you're going to grill pizzas, I think that the smaller ones might actually be easier to manage.
Right.
If you have a pizza steel, you can either get a pizza stone or a pizza steel and just plop that on the side and you get the little guys. I would love that because a lot of times when I get a barbecue pizza, it's honestly just too much barbecue pizza for me to want to deal with. But if it's like a little personalized one, I would rock that all day. It's
Yeah.
an investment.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say those like specialty pizzas. Too much of them is typically too much. It's good in small doses.
Yeah.
Originally, LQ says, sounds like that pizza with a malted crust might benefit from changing to a sourdough crust.
That sounds awesome.
That does sound
That sounds awesome. Like,
sourdough.
I'm ready for it.
Baking Diva. Hey, Baking Diva. Welcome. We're just talking about pizza dough. If you have any questions, please ask them. We are here to answer you. We're here for at least another 10 minutes.
Yeah, at least.
Oh man, that flew by.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I'm flies when you're having fun. I want to get some.
Yeah, 12-inch pizza. 12-inch pizza would be good. That's a decent size.
Yeah, that's a solid. Thank you, sir. That's a solid size of a pizza. So, and this is just from a guy who grew a set of boobs from eating so much. Those
your pizza boobs.
My pizza boobs. I earned them. Yeah, the smaller personalized ones I think people would be okay with. My whole thing is the regret of like I ordered a giant pizza or a medium-sized pizza of a specialty kind, and then I'm like stuck with it. And I'm like, it was fun at the time, but now I gotta live with it, and I'm not gonna eat the rest of that. With like, thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
So what kind of pizza did you guys end up getting?
Excuse me.
Go ahead. It's green peppers with tomatoes, sausage, pepperoni, cheese, and it's stuffed crust.
Roma tomatoes.
Okay. I don't like tomatoes on pizza.
Really? That's one of those things that I used to not like, but now I love it.
Me too.
I love it.
Me too.
I have a thing with tomatoes on food in general, and it's really weird, but like tomatoes in sandwiches, I feel like is very strange to me because I feel like it makes things wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does.
And I have a thing against wet bread, but that's a whole other topic, and I don't want to get into my like neurosis right now. But
no, I don't like vegetables on sandwiches generally because of that too.
I don't like
it leaves everything soggy, and I hate that.
It's really hard to get, or it's really hard to enjoy like a pizza when the crust is super soggy too.
Right.
So that's another thing. When you're making your crust, you have to think about what you're going to be putting on the pie too. You have to appropriately, because if you have a bunch of like peppers, tomatoes, onions, and pineapple and all this other crazy wet stuff,
right,
sink down into the crust. It's going to be a soggy pie.
Yeah, it's better to have fewer ingredients, just as a general rule with pizza. Yep. Not only for like flavor profile and all that, but if you've made pizza before, you know what I'm talking about if you've used like a pizza peel and you're trying to get the pizza onto the peel and then launch it into the oven. Having too much stuff on there, and then like if the dough sticks, it's a nightmare. So the lighter the pizza, the better, in my opinion. But Rick says, what about Mexican pizza with refried beans as the sauce, chorizo or pork, and queso fresco as the topping, maybe jalapeno and or street corn? That sounds delicious.
That does sound amazing.
Yeah, Mexican pizza. Baking Diva says, I like what called white pizza. White pizza is awesome. I love white pizza. Minus the tomatoes. I like mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, and garlic. No tomatoes, please.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of, again, different pizzas for different occasions. And when it's hot and you're kind of 4 beers in, you want something a little lighter.
Right.
So that you don't hate yourself later.
Yeah, white pizzas.
I like the lighter.
Yeah, white pizzas are like a great like summertime pizza. I feel like.
No, that sounds great.
Or like some spinach on there would be lovely. Get some greenery, some roughage.
Yes, ricotta. Back to Rick's Barbecue Specialties.
Yeah.
About the Mexican pizza, because that sounds amazing. Here's some things, though. The refried beans as the sauce, you would have to go light on, and they would have to be the watery, a little bit soupy, not the paste of the refried beans. And if you're gonna do the pork with the queso, do like El Pastor to like differentiate yourself. Because if you do like El Pastor, that stuff's gonna taste so good, and no one's gonna have that. I believe in the queso fresco with the like Mexican street corn because I love that stuff. We have a mac and cheese place here that does like Mexican corn mac and cheese, which is like my favorite. And you wouldn't assume that mac and cheese with Mexican corn would be delicious, but it is. It's amazing.
I can get behind that. Yeah, the thing with the Mexican pizza, there's nothing like having refried beans. I agree with you. It has to be something that's like wet, because if you just put straight up refried beans in the oven, they're gonna get dry.
Yep.
So maybe like a salsa. I don't know. I guess that would that be weird?
No, I think that'd be great.
I think.
Or would it just be like a hot? I don't know. Hot salsa is kind of gross. Sounds kind of gross to me.
Hot salsa is gross.
Unless you put it on top, like afterwards, like after you take it
out.
out.
That's going to be your best bet, is making the crust and then assembling it after, because a lot of those ingredients don't taste as good if you heat them up.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you'd have to keep that sour cream fresh.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Big time. Maybe you can use the sour cream for the sauce. Maybe maybe you can cook the cheese and everything else that's going to get hot right away. Well, I guess
you could do maybe
and then put the sour cream
like
on top.
Like the cilantro oil base. You know how they have like you can put olive oil on the pizza when you put it in to bake. You can do the same thing, but with cilantro infused olive oil. Just saying.
The big
cilantro.
You have a ton of options.
I'm not that good at Mexican. I don't like cilantro.
Okay, Baking Diva. What is salad pizza?
Yeah,
I'm very curious. I'm assuming I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that it is literally like salad on a pizza. The grill sergeant's here.
No.
Grill sergeant. Welcome. We're talking about rando pizzas right now.
Yeah.
Talking about salad pizza. Salad pizza reminds me of like a Mexican pizza, honestly, that I've had at like a pizza place where they or not Mexican pizza, a taco pizza, where they just load a bunch of taco ingredients on top of a pizza, which is really strange to me, and not appetizing at all. It's also really messy. At least the one that I had. Maybe I just had a bad experience. I don't know, but there was like Doritos on it, and it was just really.
Oh, that sounds
strange.
That sounds like they put a lot of stuff on it.
It was literally like a pile of stuff.
Oh man,
on the pizza. I'm like, what are you doing?
That sounds like the old Toppers like taco pizza.
Stunner pizza. What is that?
Stunner pizza, right?
I think that's any pizza.
Stunner pizza isn't Stunner pizza like whatever you find like in your kitchen at the time you
put it on top.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Or something super greasy. I would think.
I think that's how they got like macaroni and taco and all those pizzas.
Like hot dogs and I don't know what else you would. Julie asks, how do I make a Fiesta pizza? I don't know what that is.
The hell is that?
I imagine it's like a taco pizza, but a little more like
It sounded like Mario from Super.
Oh, sorry,
Mario.
Sorry, I was going for.
Have you ever heard
Fiesta.
of this? No.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Where they
Fiesta.
put the two bean things together. I'm Mexican as hell, and I have never heard of that shit. I mean, that thing. Not bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think we're probably talking. We're all talking about like the same type of pizza, like this Mexican pizza, fiestada, salad pizza. It's like all the same, similar.
Mm-hmm.
She had it in the Chicago area. It was no.
Where did
never
you
heard of it.
I think that's important.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Cool. Sorry.
Don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will look it up though, because I'm actually kind of curious if it's an actual thing. Fiestada pizza. Yeah. So anyway, anyone have any more questions? Anything? Bueller. Is that like the taco pizza they're doing in schools?
Have you attempted to make a stuffed crust?
I have not. It should be on my list though.
I think that would be like, I think you should do that like sooner than later, because like anytime I order pizza with anybody, they're usually like, I want stuffed crust. Like, all right, man,
those are the same people who are like,
stuffed crust.
I like coffee, and they just get frappuccinos, and you're like, that's not coffee. What?
Stuffed crust.
I'm just kidding. They're going to be so mad at me on the internet.
Oh man, yeah, stuffed crust. I would just like get like some string cheese and just
wrap the crust around it.
Wrap the crust around it. Grill Sergeant asked if you could pick any 3 meats to put on a pizza, what would they be?
Bacon, pepperoni. Bacon, pepper on the same pizza? Shit. I mean, shucks. Bacon, pepperoni, and more pepperoni. I don't really dig.
Double pep.
Right here. You can not believe in it all you want, but here's some.
Nice to see you, Rick's BBQ. If you're in town, I'd love to try those pizzas.
Thanks, Rick. Thank Rick. Wow, words. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, pepperoni on pepperoni and bacon.
Yeah, I would say sausage for sure, but like crumbled sausage.
Ooh, nice.
Pepperoni and I don't know what other meat would I want on a pizza.
There's so many different meats. That's the thing.
And
I'm trying to think of what other meats you would put on a pizza.
Hamburger is really good, but not necessarily with the combination of the other. So if I got like a hamburger and like vegetables and stuff, I would love that because I think hamburger is delicious.
Thanks for checking in, Rick.
Thanks, man.
Say, Rick.
The what's the other thing? Philly cheese, Philly cheesesteak meat, the Philly meat.
Oh yeah,
I love that on pizzas. Good. I love it. Like if you
isn't that messy though? Like isn't that like hard to eat? You're like, I don't care.
No, I don't.
I can't think of a third one, honestly. I think sausage. Oh, so cute. I think sausage and pepperoni. It's a classic combo.
Yeah.
I like.
Oh, okay. So Grill Sergeant, he wants us to go crazy. Like,
okay.
I think brisket would be awesome.
Oh, Wagyu ribeye if I could afford it. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah.
Just some like, maybe like some steak, but like rare steak.
Oof.
Maybe some Maybe
No,
like
no dice.
a pepperoni.
Well, here's the thing about rare steak. I love rare steak, but that's going to make that whole pizza super soggy.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's gonna make it heavy.
a weird pizza. I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be like big, thick chunks. I mean, like.
Top B wants to eat pizza off of Billy's beard. I don't know if you know. Do you know Top B?
Yeah, they're yelling that at
They're
you.
yelling, ah, calm down, calm down.
I would definitely eat Wagyu. You don't even have to put it on a pizza. If you're buying, I'll eat it. Brisket, of course, because brisket's delicious. I'm not, strangely enough, I like pulled pork, but I don't like it with barbecue sauce on top of it. Like, I think like barbecue sauce with it is just too much.
You want to taste the pork.
Yeah, I want to be able to taste the actual pork and the meat.
Right.
So
maybe you could do like a fowl pizza, like some pheasant, duck, and like ostrich or something crazy like that.
I mean,
meat.
Human meat.
Dangerous game. We've been talking about crusts.
Yep.
Turn into
Yep. Now what are we doing?
hey, Bukeki. I love your name. Now this is the content I subscribe. Do you guys know Bukeki? Is this your?
I know.
But I'm.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
It's really funny. Oh, prosciutto. Prosciutto would be good.
Prosciutto would be good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Prosciutto would be good. That's a very salty meat. So you'd have to be very careful with it. Otherwise, it's just going to overpower the whole thing. I'm still stuck on the Wagyu. If Grill Sergeant's still down to pay for it, I'll totally try it.
Will you ship some Wagyu to us, Sergeant? We'll do a trade.
Yeah. There's different grades too. Like I think it's like there's 1, 2, 3, and then like 5 and 7 are like the higher ends. I think. I'd totally do that.
Yeah, I know nothing about like what meat is like good and what's not, or what's I don't know. I'm very unfamiliar with the meat world.
There's a lot to it, honestly. I'm not that familiar with it. I know what I like, you know what I mean, based on what I've had. But
right.
Yeah. I will tell you, one of my most hated toppings in any pizza is Canadian bacon. I love ham. Just be honest with yourself and be ham, and I can do that. I love
it's Canadian though. It's like fancy ham.
No, I'm good. I can't dig it, man. I don't know why. It just bothers me.
I like it.
You see how stressed I'm getting just thinking about it? Like, oh no.
Original ELQ says, I think a good pastrami would be good with supporting sauce, like a little horseradish.
Ooh,
whoa,
that
sounds really good.
Really good, yeah.
That sounds really good.
A nice, like, decent mustard that's real sharp. Now, maybe most people wouldn't dig that, but I would. But yeah.
Lobster and shrimp. That sounds good.
Oh, geez.
Fish pizza, seafood pizza.
I was thinking about a fish pizza, like a lemon pepper fish pizza.
Okay.
I'll let you dine on that alone.
All right, what's the sauce on that?
I was thinking some like just that's where all the lemon and the pepper was gonna be.
Okay.
I never really thought about it because I never thought about like what the cheese was gonna be because I don't think you can do fish and cheese.
I mean, you can, but it's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Like maybe like a lemon, like a cream, some kind of cream sauce, like a
lemon
something.
Yeah. Like tartar sauce can be the actual tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Yes, that's really strong though. That's too much.
Just put a bunch of mayonnaise on it.
Yeah. Just
No.
I did put mayo. I feel like I did put mayo on a pizza for something. I forget what it was.
Was it a Mexican pizza?
No, I think I saw it. I think I saw that one.
I forget which one it was.
Was it the one with pickles? No, it wasn't.
No.
It may have been the chicken. No. The chicken noodle one. I used soup as a sauce.
Okay.
BLT sandwich or BLT pizza?
Yeah, I don't remember. I did. I feel like I did something with mayo at some point. Terrorist ham, huh?
Terrace ham.
So Bukeki, you also are not a fan of it? Cool.
Canadian bacon.
Doesn't like Canadian bacon.
I love terraced ham. All
I'm
right.
not a fan. Not a fan of the ham.
I like it.
That's a great name for Canadian bacon, terraced ham. I love Canadians. Don't. I'm not a Canada hater. I've never been, but I'm sure it's a lovely place to go.
It has to be. They have poutine.
Yeah.
The poutine pizza, gotta try that.
Yep. You don't even need sauce. It's just gravy.
Yep.
I'd fuck with that.
Who doesn't love a mouthful of gravy?
God.
And on that note,
Yeah.
so I think we said what we need to what we wanted to say about pizza and dough, right?
Yeah.
Kind of went a little tangent there, but that's fine.
Yep. Much more, which is good.
It's true. Steak and potatoes on a pizza. Yes. Well, maybe. I mean, steak and potatoes is awesome, but anyway, okay, I'm getting distracted. Couple things before we go. Thank you, first of all, for showing up and talking and chatting with us. We love interaction and talking to you guys.
Yeah, this has been fun.
If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to our channels. Pizza Sutra is, you can just search Pizza Sutra on YouTube and you'll find it. I'm sure it's the #1 result.
I hope so.
I hope so. And then I'm at Son of a Pizza Man, so just obviously same thing. And then what else? Also, I wanted to mention the next month is National Pizza Month, so get excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We're going to the Chicago Pizza Summit. Come say hello.
We're going to the Chicago Pizza Summit, which is going to be a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll be putting videos out about that. And also the this is probably over people's heads and they probably don't care, but the Pasta and Pizza Expo is going on at the end of this month in Atlantic City.
Ooh.
Which is the smaller version of the Pizza Expo in Vegas.
Oh, right on.
So, but I went last year. I'm not going this year, but
time off and money.
Yeah. And it's also, so they have these expo events in the middle of the week. So it's like Wednesday and Thursday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because most of the people all the people that go are people in the industry. So they're typically working on the weekends. So that's why they have it during the week, so everyone can go. But it's very inconvenient if you're not in the industry and you're like, okay, I have to take off in the middle of the week, and then it's just whatever. But
yeah, that's all right.
What are you gonna do? Anyway,
hold on. Happy birthday to my sister!
Happy birthday!
Hooray!
What's her name?
So,
what's her name?
Maria.
Maria, happy birthday, Maria.
I doubt she's watching right now, but tell happy birthday, Maria.
Tell her to watch. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys as always. You guys are awesome. You know that.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to plug? Anything?
We have an episode that came out last Thursday, so if you haven't seen it, watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. Hang out, be cool, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I might put something out this weekend, but nothing on Friday. So
I hope you get it out. I know.
But I'll be putting something out next week though, for sure.
Okay.
So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and find us on social media and all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching Pizza Chat. We need to find some kind of outro for this because I feel like I'm just rambling on and on.
Hey, We'll get there. We
Yeah.
will get there.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you
Yeah.
next time.
Bye.
Bye.